Hi Ram.
Hello.
So yes, this is the first
So
episode. Okay,
go ahead, go ahead.
so this is the first episode of our supposed podcast. It's called Siren Songs of Tech, and we both are going to take it forward. So, little introduction about ourselves. I'm Kamalam. This is Mr. Ram Prakash. Mr. Ram Prakash is a bioinformatics student in Michigan, and I'm a AML research engineer based out of Chennai. So, the aim of the podcast is to uh, primarily kindle the talk between us about all things tech. Also to engage with others, getting other perspectives about all things tech. So over to you, Ramprakash.
Thank you. So in today's episode, we'll basically be discussing about in generally how AI has been affecting our lives personally,
Yep.
and basically what future holds based on our perspectives
Yeah.
and what we have experienced.
Yeah. So
So I think we'll start with you, or
sure. Okay.
okay.
Uh, so uh, the flow that I am thinking right now is like like my introduction to AI, my perspective of it, how I want it to be, rather how it is, and then going about it.
Okay.
So my perspective, how I was interested in AI. So I was not aware of something called data science or AI or machine learning or anything. I was just aware about computer science being a subject in the state board syllabus. Like you can choose your track, like biology or computer science or commerce. So that was just the introduction that I've had. I was pushed into data science basically, and I did not expect anything from it initially. But I finished a master's course which spanned for 5 years in data science from PhD College of Technology. So that was the first introduction for AI for me. So I took a course called Artificial Intelligence in my second year, which is like fourth semester, and yeah. So right off the bat, I thought AI was something like a magic part of computer science, wherein you always discuss about algorithms or full of math, just the introduction of it. But then over the years, as I got more perspective, it became like a more prevalent thing rather just algorithms or math about it. So it became ingrained to like to all aspects of life, like uh, I don't know, just for the fun of it, like in lights and fridge and everything, thanks to marketing people. But yeah, it yeah, so it got ingrained to NLP or uh, Snapchat filters or Instagram filters or text editing tools, etc., etc. So that was my introduction to AI, like over the years. My perspective of it, as I said, initially off the bat, I thought about this algorithms, math, and everything, but applic- application of those algorithms and math and everything is actually uh, the relevant definition for AI, because all these algorithms are developed in like 1950s, 1960s by great minds, and right now we're looking at the applications of it, or the purpose of things. So perception, I'd say, it is needed, it is required, but I'm pretty old school in aspects where you don't require AI in something, don't use it. Like just for the sake of having a tag called AI, don't have it. So
Okay.
that's that. And working in supposed AI is like 90 percentage convincing people, or rather confusing people, that I actually do cutting edge stuff, but actually I just work with NLP. Right now in this current tech world, 99 percentage of AI is NLP, or what we call it as chat GPT, large language models, or as such. So those were the uh, NLP side of AI. So AI just doesn't correspond to automations or anything like that. It corresponds to decision making in areas where it's very uncertain by a black box. So that is the actual definition of an AI that I was introduced to. So
Hmm.
that's my perspective and everything of AI. How about you?
Interesting, interesting. So, okay, basically, I'll give my perspective of AI and how I got introduced to AI and everything else. So, off the bat, I'm basically just a uh, like more interested in programming, learning new languages and stuff. So, in my first company, people were just talking about machine learning and deep neural networks and everything, and that's basically how I got into the world of data science and machine learning. And so one problem that we generally faced was, even though we can run models on machine learning models that uh, predict some, like that basically
Okay, let's
uh,
call it a black box.
that the black box just predicts some stuff, but in order to convey it to the actual end user, we needed some sort of NLP or some text-based thing that converted whatever the model could do into a readable thing. So that is where people were just talking about, like, we need to have something that runs on this language, that language. We also needed to convert things to Russian and other things. But at that time, the tech, like, LLMs were not a thing, and we didn't actually focus on that particular aspect. And then, like, 3 years passed by, and suddenly people are just like, OpenAI just announced this thing called ChatGPT, and then everyone is saying that it can solve math problems, it can solve coding Olympiads, can beat the best mathematician and whatnot. And I just got interested. I read more about it. Like I discussed with some people, including you, about how that works and everything else. And that gave me a perspective of like what AI could actually do. But like recently, I also understand that it's just spewing out stuff that it has been trained to say. It doesn't necessarily understand what it's saying. So that's my introduction to AI, and that's
So,
my, yeah, take on AI. But yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry, you go ahead, you complete.
Okay, so my perspective about this is, yeah, I think ChatGPT, LLMs, and all these large language models have definitely improved lives of everyone, literally everyone, in the last 1.5 2 years. Like, programming has been made easy by these guys. You can just, instead of going and searching for hours on and trying to figure out something, you can just ask one of the LLMs, and yeah, there's a 20 to 25% chance that it's going to spew out random stuff, but most of the time it works. And for simple problems that you don't have to think a lot, and that has already been solved by other people, it most definitely helps. This is coming from a programmer. But other than that, in terms of normal, like, as a average human also, my life has been, like, improved a lot, I would say, because this particular technology has enabled more industries to make use of it. But at the same time, this is not a one solution that fits everything kind of thing, which, as people, like, tend to think, like, you just do chat gpt and
I mean,
you'll be
plaster
cured of.
AI everywhere and call it a day is what these
Yeah,
people are like going for, I
basically,
guess.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
again, blame marketing people.
as you famously say, like, why does a AC need AI?
Yeah, why does an
Yeah.
AC need? I mean, it's not even an AI part of it. Like, What doesn't make
Yeah,
sense?
it doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
probably it will say it's increasing the temperature.
you don't need
Which,
AI for
which is
that.
not that useful. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't need AI
yeah.
for that.
So,
Yeah.
interesting thing that I'd like to pick from what you said, like you
Mhm.
mentioned that in the last 3 years, it's substantially like so much improvement in the field of AI. So
Mhm.
I'll say it's a contrary. So when I was in my last year, which is like around 2020, like before the
Mm.
internships and like during my
Mhm.
graduate days, so
Mhm.
we took a course on deep learning, and we were asked to present the current trends or the flows of NLP or deep learning as such. So one of
Okay.
my classmates presented about BERT, which was like currently
Hmm.
released in 2017. It was released. So even in 2020, BERT was like pretty much like 3 years.
Pretty. Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Mm.
I may mess up the years here, but I'm not sure. But I
That's
really
okay.
remember it was a COVID class wherein I took in like over the Zoom calls. So yeah,
Mhm.
but the classmate took about BERT. So
Mm.
I literally thought like, okay, this is going to say the next word. That's it. That was the first impression I had. Naive collegiate woman.
Mhm.
But then
Mhm.
as years went by,
Mm.
now the substantial importance of BERT being at that time is like huge. So if you didn't have BERT
Yeah.
in that timeline, you don't have an LLM right now.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's the trajectory. So before BERT, you had recurrent neural networks, you had LSTMs and everything like not that impactful in terms of memory holding as such. But once the advent of attention is all you need, the paper came, a huge trajectory change. So
Hmm.
that's an interesting point, to focus on.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
On that same note, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, continue.
No, no, on the same note, like, can you explain what exactly that attention is all you need paper solved, or what idea did it give
Okay,
for
so
this explosion of LLMs? Yeah.
got it. So before the advent of attention is all you need paper or transformers model, so there was something called as encoder decoder architecture. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
which consisted of recurrent neural networks, LSTMs, and other deep learning models. Basically, what they do is consider encode as a black box and a decode as a separate black box. So when you give a text, for example, say consider the task at hand is translation. So you give a
Okay.
text in English,
Mm-hmm.
you expect a text in Tamil. So
Okay.
what that
Mm.
basically does is you encode the English text onto certain mathematical transformations, and then you give it to
Okay.
the decoder, and it's going to decode it into Tamil. So what happens
Mm-hmm.
exactly in the encoder decoder is uh, the English texts are embedded as like mathematical formats there. It's going to consider the weightage of like say uh, the words one word for it, another such like short memory,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then it's
Mm-hmm.
going to embed into a mathematical format, and the decoder will have the context of say the mathematical format corresponding to the word there, and then it's going to
Mm-hmm.
spew out the word.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
basically a black box that learns the probabilities of the next word based on all of the words that you have at hand. So
Okay. Mm.
so the what the transformers did, the advent of transformers happened because of something called as self attention or
Mm-hmm.
attention in general. So what it literally means is you consider say just consider this English sentence, uh, today is a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's going to compute the attention or it's the weightage of each word in the sentence to itself and to others. It's like a
Mm.
cross product of every word of the weightage. So
Okay.
what this does is it gives the it gives the weightage of a particular word with respect to all other words in a corpus or all other words in a sentence, just for the sake of saying all of the words in a
Mm.
sentence. So you just don't have the current word and before word, but current word, before word, after that, every type of contextual information you have. And they also
Okay.
proposed a way to include positions if you think about it, you can get the context. You can cross-word it and get the context. But you need to know the position of the word. So it's a beautiful day can be a different thing, but day beautiful taste. Like it's not grammarly correct, right? So you need to have a
Mm-hmm.
positional parameter as well. And the researchers from Google proposed a method of positional encoding using sinusoidal waves. So every
Mm-hmm.
odd is going to have a cos wave, and every even would have a sine wave. So that information also can be incorporated along with our attention. So basically, you have the
Oh,
context,
okay.
you have
Mm-hmm.
the position. Now you can decode it, and you can make the model or make the black box learn the probabilities or maximum, like how it's going to spewed out.
Mm.
So that
Okay.
can be done.
Okay.
That is like a again, it's better to be described as black box. If we get into it, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
I can talk
Understood.
about it
Understood.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all the time. So, yeah. One other
Great.
thing is uh, the encoder decoder architecture. I wanna reference one thing. I'm not sure if it's correct. So can I do that?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned that before the advent of transformers, there were encoder and decoder, right? I'm like
Mm.
confused right now. So
That's okay.
yeah,
Fine.
sorry about
It's
that.
just for the. It's just so that someone can actually understand what
Yeah,
changed
yeah. I pretty much
between the two.
told like Transformers. I mean, about I talked about
Mhm.
Transformers, fine, but I just want to cross check myself. But you can continue talking about your
Yeah, I
perspective. And
think one other thing that OpenAI did uh, that no one else did is just using the entire dump of the internet to, train
oh,
their stuff
that's true. That's true. That's true.
so that it like the model just seems to know about everything, and it seems like it's suited for general purpose, but it's not really general purpose, right?
That's true.
So yeah, that is that. And how do you think LLMs have um, progressed specific industries in your experience?
Uh, Pertaining to a certain industry or my like perspective.
Anything like from your perspective, like what all has increased because LLMs are there?
I'd right off the bat say anything that pertains to writing, like
Mm-hmm.
content creating or leveraging it to write marketing emails, like admin
Mm-hmm.
tasks that can be really substantially taken away. And
Mm-hmm.
coding to an extent, because developers are encouraged to ask uh, LLMs rather
And
than Stack Overflows.
refer
Yeah,
LLMs. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
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 Like, but the nuance of Stack Overflow is one of the human being actually got
Yeah,
that same
actually
error,
get
and
that. Yep.
that's lacking because LLM can spew. Uh, it can hallucinate, so that's
Hallucinate,
there. But
basically.
then I'm not painting LLMs or AI in a bad way, but they are there. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
just how they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty
Yep.
much. And
Yep. Yep.
how do you? I mean, from coming from a healthcare or a med tech, I'd suggest
Mm.
industry. How would you describe the usage of AI there, apart from say medical imaging?
Yeah, I think medical imaging has been a focus area for quite a while now, and there are a lot of companies that have already entered the medical imaging field, and they're still trying to, you know, get medical imaging
Footage.
and machine learning models deployed in every single area. So not just like X-rays or CTs, they're trying to like imbibe into every modality that is there. That has been going on, but after the advent of LLMs, like there has been huge potential for uh, specifically improving a patient's care plan, or like improving their uh, experience with the hospital to be. So one major thing that everyone is doing is just LLM based chatbots that answer the
Rags.
yeah, rags that refer medical documents and then do that. But other fields, like one thing that we were exploring is how, like how we can have, instead of the, like, not from a patient's perspective, but from a doctor's perspective, from a practitioner who is, let's say, handling a particular patient. If he wants to, check something about the patient, let's say if he's treating someone for a specific type of cancer, and he wants to know the specific drug that the patient has already taken, some interaction or deployment of a LLM here would actually substantially increase the time that he has to, like, otherwise he, like, where time is very crucial, he'll have to go through each of the drugs that he already has, and he'll have to know what to look for, which they already do. But this will, like, sort of reduce the time that
Expedite
is
their
required, yeah,
process.
process for that. That is
But
one thing.
isn't the
Yeah.
human touch required for, say, history?
Yeah, absolutely. Like that is the big debate, right? Should, like, we just talked about you know ML models analyzing images, and, like, shouldn't a human touch be required there? I think it's just a matter of time till we get to at least, like, a good accuracy percentage
But
that can,
to answer your
yeah.
point, there is a human touch required there, because even though
Hmm.
the model, say, analyzes a particular medical image, the doctor sitting behind the screen and all,
Yeah, that's
finalizing
actually
on finalizing on,
deciding.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just making the doctor's life easier.
easier.
That's it.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct, correct.
it's not like we are doing away with the doctors, but doctor's touch is definitely
I
required.
like to quote an analogy here. So
Hmm.
when we saw the imitation game together, so basically Alan Turing came up with the machine just to make the lives of,
Hmm.
just easier,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
solve the entire thing, but easier to compute the on like the
exactly,
crack the
exactly.
keywords. So
Absolutely, yes.
that's what we were
So
saying.
that is my experience. I think, yeah, one other thing that really shocked me, or it didn't shock me, it was very interesting to me, which I've already told you, is I was just reading Dune, and
Yeah,
in that, so every civilization has put on a constraint that no civilization is supposed to build something that, you know
resembles a human.
looks like a human or acts like a human, basically AI. So every civilization is prohibited from building anything. So the civilizations go the other way around. So humans train themselves
To
and their
become
brains
machines.
to become computers. So there are human computers that are there, that you just give data and they
So
decide on it. So it's very interesting, and they progress on the, like, they focus more on the humanity of
rather than the,
humans
yeah.
rather than, like, trying to replace humans
So
in
another
other fields.
analogy
Yeah.
here. So today we were
Hmm.
talking about vertical scaling and horizontal scaling, right? So
Hmm.
like if we bring that here, horizontal scaling would be what we are doing right now, building machines to replace
Hmm.
humans, and vertical scaling was what Dune did it. Dune said it in
Yeah.
1950s, like use your brains to become calculators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Absolutely. I
is like
think.
if you think about it, it's so good. It's like so cool. Someone
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what he Frank was high on, but but that
Yeah. He.
but that it's very cool. It's like mind blowing of sorts. So, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting. We'll
So
see what. Yeah.
we'll see what else this has.
What else? Yeah, but one other thing that I recently learned is that all of these, like, none of the uh, AI ML technologies that are already there are general purpose. Or what I mean by that is they only solve a specific task at hand. So even LLMs, they seem to
Could
do
you
everything.
elaborate? I mean, specific
So
tasks.
what I mean by that is, so uh, let's say a machine learning model can basically just do. one thing really good, but it can't do everything. So what I mean by that is, like, I'll quote the exact same thing that I learned it from. So what exact evolutional advantage did humans get over other organisms, right? So the basic organism, let's say a bacteria, is just good at eating stuff and then converting it to energy. And then over the course of years, we just, like, it just widened, the scope of things just widened a bit. So let's say a bird can, peck a hole in a tree and then hunt for worms. That is a bit of generalization. Like, it knows how to use its beak to put a hole. But as humans, like, we took over everything else because we can basically generalize. Like, you're not just good at, running, or you're not just good at uh, learning to play
one
chess,
thing per se,
or
just
yeah,
jack of all
everyone,
trades basically.
every human can generalize. They can do whatever, they can pick whatever they want and become good at it. That's why that's basically technology, right? That's how technology works. So the day a machine is able to do that, humans become unnecessary, in a sense.
Uh,
Like, a machine. So basically, imagine a
but if you
machine.
think about it,
Hmm.
the due course it's going to take a machine to do that is like I don't know, I can't comprehend it because
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But there is, like,
a possibility, yes.
a possibility, a good probability, I'll
But
say.
given as
That
humans
it will work.
to generalize, maybe we generalize AI to into cyborgs or into that
Yeah, that is.
aspect and then call it a day. Like okay, we are also that
Yeah.
as a surviving like
Yeah,
humanity.
we
So
we're
yeah,
we're going too much into the future with this, but yeah,
yeah.
it'll there will most definitely be a day when machines can do,
Have
like,
you watched the
imagine a
film
machine.
iRobot?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
basically,
exactly.
basically.
Basically, yes, yes, yes.
But
So,
then that is going to be a day where we already have like implants that involved uh,
hmm.
bionic hands or etc. That we are a part cyborg right away, but in very niche research cases. But
Yeah,
that will be very
but
prevalent. I
this.
give that, but
Mhm.
humanoid, like entirely humanoid creatures or them themselves propagating is like way into the
Yeah,
future, and I know that's what you're
absolutely.
talking about rather than just
Yeah, yeah.
bionic or
Like, not just the physical aspect of it. So let's say a
true, true, true.
computer that can, a computer
Jarvis.
that is good at generalizing, will be able to do everything. Like, it will be able to improve itself. It will be able to, it will be good at building itself again, because us humans have done it. So it will be
Yeah,
able to build something. I don't know. It's just very interesting.
very interesting to think about it. But then
Yes. Hmm.
we humans will always have a grounding rule for it. Like what I mean to say is just let's just assume there's a Java is like
Mm-hmm.
LLM out there, or not
Mm-hmm.
just an LLM. Let's just say multimodal brain
Mm-hmm.
out there,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
can do any task or compute any complex like problem solution, etc.
Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely would have built it with the grounding rule saying you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So
Yeah.
how
It'll
would
also be
that?
good at it'll also be good at breaking those rules. Or
I mean, it goes against
you
its
never know.
basic nature, right? So
Uh, yeah,
how
like,
would
that
something
is.
like that's hard coded in
Huh.
you? So at least
Yeah,
you
yeah.
cannot pinpoint in a human body and say this is where honesty stems from, or this is where everything stems from. Like probably from brain you can, but I'm not sure. I mean, I may be wrong, but the point that I'm trying to make is it's coded in a particular beings. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and call them beings, even though they're machines. Into someone's
Okay.
beings, like you cannot do this. So how will they get good at it?
That's yeah. These are all, like, valid questions. I don't have the answers to.
We don't.
Time will
We're
only
just
tell.
speculating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We just speculate.
What is your speculation? Is my probe.
I think, yeah, it should be possible that we will be able to control, or we'll be able to put some rules to these beings, AI beings. But even then, like, whomever like invents the first AI being is now like suddenly at the top of the food chain. Like, he can do what, like, he can cut down the entire human force and employ AI,
Replace it with
because it can be replicated, can be, improved. And once you improve one, it improves everything else as well. So, like, the sheer amount of power that comes with it.
domino effect.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we really, as a like as nations, should focus on is, if such a thing occurs, what what happens to the humans? Like, do we
Uh, Sam Altman actually did a Sam Altman's
mm-hmm.
company OpenAI actually did a
Okay.
research on this, and
Mm.
I'm not sure about the entire research, but this is a snippet of what I remember. So
Okay.
he mentioned to give daily wages to people, and like
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. For that, the government should be strong. Like, where in countries, let's say in some country where the government is very weak, they basically control the entire, like, they control the churning wheel of the entire earth, and they can, do whatever
Churn
they want.
anything
Yeah,
they want,
yeah, they can
milk
do
anything they
whatever
want.
they. Yeah, it's like you equip a human with godlike powers. What happens? Let's say if that happens at a country where it's already regulated and stuff, then the country can, make use of that to provide more, like, to provide the basic income for all the humans, keeping them sustainable at least to an extent, and not let pandemonium break everywhere. Yeah, that is I don't
Too
know.
much
And
power to
we
think about
too much
actually.
power.
So
Yeah, like, if you think about, let's say, programming, or, you know medicine, or even, I don't know, music, everything. If you think about it, it's all, like, us humans are constrained by the biological factors. Like, we take 15 years to, you know
muscle
get good at
memory.
programming. And yeah, imagine a computer can do that in seconds or minutes, even hours. Like, it's cutting down on so much time, and once it learns it, it can be replicated like crazy. The only limitation will be the physical limitation of computational power, which I don't think.
Given Moore's law, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I mean, when we
Yeah,
get to a point where it's not physically possible to generate
absolutely.
more,
Yep. you
yeah.
can you can always
I think
always
that's when
manufacture more.
quantum
Yeah.
computing comes into picture and say, I'm here, like, yep, I'm there. But
Probably, but
I mean, it's a long shot. Again, it's
but
a
yeah,
huge leap into the future. But yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, at this point, no one knows what's going to happen. But yep,
pretty much interesting,
all interesting,
very interesting.
very interesting.
What do you want to use AI for, like from your
Um,
personal perspective, academic perspective, or say work perspective?
what would I want to use
Because
AI
being
for?
a graduate
Hmm.
student right now, that obviously in this relevant economy of AI, you're only going to be talking about AI somehow
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
how do you
Hmm.
plan on using that, like leveraging the power of AI to build
Yeah,
better
yeah.
things?
Even though it has been 2 years, 3 years since, like, Gen AI has come up, and even more, I don't know, since AI has come up, I still think there are a lot of
You
problems.
should go to
Yeah,
about 50 years of AI
yeah,
probably.
that probably, but yeah, I mean, I'm saying till it has actually been of use, like, since computational power has
True, true,
increased
true.
and
Agreed, agreed,
whatnot. Yeah.
agreed.
So I would say anything that anything that reduces my load, not in terms of like thought or not in terms of my creativity to solve the problems, but it enables me to, you know, uh, fast forward my thought process and then like actual implementation. So let's say if I have a problem, I think of a solution. If I can use AI to actually build that solution instead of me going in and build, I actually save on that time that I actually build it.
Build.
And I can use that to think of more problems or solutions to more
Makes sense.
problems.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically where I think it will be
But
useful. I think that's
uh,
how, yeah.
I have a question. Like it
Hmm.
can be a dumb question, but wouldn't our attention spans, or the kind of
Yeah,
things
that
we
is.
want to work on, or how we
Yeah,
want to work on, I mean, be altered in this process of getting
absolutely,
help from
absolutely.
AI to
Like
expedite?
even without AI, even without all of this AI specific talk, our attention spans have been reducing for years now. I think it's just, I don't know. It's
Probably
yeah,
evolution.
and yeah, evolution. That's not going to
No,
happen in
nope,
10 years.
no, pretty much.
But yeah,
It's pretty.
interesting stuff. We'll
Okay.
see.
Uh,
We'll see what
okay.
the future holds. Hmm.
I think this is a good topic to start on, but what can we expect further discussing about in all things tech? Like it cannot be just AI or machine learning, right?
Yeah,
So
we'll go to the. I think for our upcoming episodes, we'll go into how like the basics of how computers work. Probably we'll go into what tech even means, like um because it's not just computers that contribute to tech, right?
correct, correct, correct,
Everything in
correct,
every field there is new technology.
correct,
Even in
correct, correct.
business, there are new techniques and technologies that come up, right? So we
Frameworks. We
can
can mention them as
we
frameworks.
can, yeah, frameworks, or we'll go into those. We can, yeah, we'll definitely have more AI talks. This is just a
Just a
overview of
starting point.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can dive into how, like, if a truly general AI comes up, we'll see how that will look.
How
How,
that's going to be. Like
yeah,
we can discuss more that
yeah,
point.
yeah. We can discuss further on because that was
Yeah,
very interesting. Like
I'd
to,
like to know a lot. I know you're a seasoned programmer, polyglot, so I'd like to
uh,
know, the frameworks, your perspectives, or how it goes on to,
okay,
problem solving, or those aspects as well. And we can even,
yeah,
say probably generalize that to AI also. Like even AI is a kind of a paradigm where you need to fix on a use case and then proceed to,
absolutely,
mitigate.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yeah.
how
I
we can
think,
think about that as well. If I mean
yeah,
that's pretty
we'll
interesting.
have to, yeah, we'll have to discuss on. I think this is one topic that we'll definitely need to discuss on is like the need for experts to actually guide AI and machine learning developments. Like people just think anyone can do it, but it's it's not about the execution, or it's not
Ha
about
ha
writing the
ha.
code. It's about
Correct,
thinking
correct,
about
correct, correct.
how that
Exactly. The
works, right?
flow of it, like when to use what and such.
Yep.
But then it's really
Sounds good.
important to know about all this. That I'll give
Mm-hmm.
the grain of salt there as well. But
Mm-hmm.
but actual expert lies in like what to do when you're in a picky situation, or what to do in that particular situation. That's
Yep.
the
Yep. Absolutely. Yes.
knack.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting. Thanks for
Interesting.
taking
Thank
your
you.
time. Yep. Hope like
Yeah.
I'll really like the session today, and we should discuss more on all things tech.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Stay tuned for more to whomever is listening.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but personally, I'm looking forward to talking more about within ourselves, like that's how I'm looking at this, because if I think
Yep,
that
yep,
there are going to be
absolutely,
people listening,
absolutely.
I'll be like filtering everything I say, just like I said of the
Yeah,
transformer. So yeah, that's
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
for
so
sure.
whoever is listening to it, stay tuned, and we'll come up with more all things tech, and pretty much help you to go all things tech as well. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.